For many of us, 2020 was a terrible year, but for games, it was a great year, especially for many AAA titles that were appreciated and loved. Some were overly praised, and many were silenced and improperly rewarded. One of those is Ghost of Tsushima for the PlayStation 4. It's not uncommon to see many video games in the industry that revolves around Japan and samurai. They tend to be highly praised and positively looked upon when it comes to stories and artistic directions. Some of us may expect Eastern and Western developers to adapt and implement their respective cultural resources, but we've seen plenty of occasions of breaking those boundaries on both sides, and they tend to be successful. Ghost of Tsushima is no exception. As Washington State's Sucker Punch Studios tackled on Japanese history, it received heavy praise by many popular Japanese creators, and it truly deserved it. Ghost of Tsushima takes you to 1274 AD, where you play as Jin Sakai to fend off the Mongol invaders in the island by the name of the game's titles. After you go through the beginning of the invasion, the protagonist wakes up after being revived by the thief Yuna. You get back some gear just to find out the uncle of Sakai is held captive by Khotan Khan, a fictional descendant of Genghis Khan. As you explore the island of Tsushima, you are introduced with many characters who are on your side to kill the invaders and save the lord captive. As you explore the story, Jin's skills and abilities expand for the benefit to defeat the Mongols in the island. Many battles are engaged through traditional samurai close-range combat, but you also have a handful of stealth missions to strategize your way through your missions along with causing less ruckus. Whether you are liberating Mongol territories with hostage situations or going through the story, as stealth plays a big role with Jin Sakai's relations with characters along with some character development. Through the ways of the sword, you battle through with 4 different stances that you learn as you progress through. Each stance are designed for specific types of enemies you battle. You start with Stone stance, which works well with fighting swordsmen, Water stance for shieldmen, Wind stance for enemies with spears, and the Moon stance for brutes. All 4 stances are easily interchangeable in middle of battle, allowing strategy to come into play. The stance strategy could not have been perfected even more than it already is. It puts the difficulty in the absolute right position and gives you time to change as needed, as long as you know what you're doing in the middle. Despite 4 stances, some story missions and side quests will also have the 1 versus 1 battles that are by far one of my favorite moments in Ghost of Tsushima, as these are not common in many adventures games as they need to be. For a samurai game, I view this style to be an absolute must in order to bring out traditional kendo style and overall practicality of battling established characters. I'm thankful for the overwhelming majority of the time that this is experienced when you have Jin Sakai and one other going at it. Like many open world adventure games, exploration is a key feature that can also give a good meaning to the game. If I were to say this game isn't revolutionary by any means, then I would be a liar. While we may have experienced open world games in a historical setting or beautifully established worlds, Ghost of Tsushima brought both of those into one game, and at the same time brings us the absolute beauty in Japanese art. I doubt this would have been possible on any preceding generation of consoles before the PlayStation 4. Another great feature is Kurosawa mode, where the game is filtered in both audio and picture to match with old-fashioned movies that in the past is highly regarded and known by the filmmaker of the same name. There isn't anything that is colored, so even the menu screen will be given the same treatment. When the feature was used, this has brought up a good challenge as attack warnings can be hard to tell with enemies. You would see the color indicating an unblockable attack or an opportunity to parry. In Kurosawa mode, that's not the case. An even greater challenge would be playing the game on Kurosawa mode on the lethal difficulty. If you are a streamer, this is a great opportunity to show up your challenge. Ghost of Tsushima truly brings in great honor to the samurai settings and work on Japanese history that hasn't been explored very often. It is a breath of fresh air indeed, as we have seen feudal Japan tackled on plenty of times and hardly bringing in new experiences outside of gameplay. While many critics may have selfishly regarded American developer Sucker Punch to take Eastern history, art, and culture for granted, the absolute truth is that they have brought great honor and praise that hopefully can inspire more games like Ghost of Tsushima as we see more underappreciated world history explored with fun gameplay and cherishable stories.